Welcome back to Big Board. Setting up some MBT. We're using the, I don't know what the full name of it is, but the abbreviation is FRG. I'm sure that's the German Armed Forces of some type. It's that module that we're going to be using. The scenario that we're going to be playing is set on the Czech border. And it's same sort of time period as all the other MBT games and scenarios, 1987, September. So a Company Plus formation of T-64 BVs, which I missed earlier on when I did my prior video, have Songster missiles, 125 millimeter, the chemical, the CE-based missiles, right? With penetration rate of 144. So as I was looking, at that, I was like, wow, these guys are going to chew through these Leopard 2A3s. They're just going to beat them up because look at the defensive capability. But because their armor has got a rating of 110 and the penetration rate is 144, that means you're guaranteed a penetrating round if you hit, and then of course you've got to roll for damage. But you know, 7 through 10 will get you a brew up, 3 through 10 will get you a kill, right? So that's a 70% chance of doing bad things to these Leopards. So I was like, wow, this is going to be a beatdown for the Germans. Then I saw that we have defensive armor capabilities for CE platforms, and that multiplies these factors by 2. So 110 becomes 220. There's no CE-based armor. See the color coding here? There's no CE-based armor on the rear of the turret. Just hull front, turret front, then front side, turret side. You can see there, right? So nice, right? So that means that they're basically impervious to Songster rounds. So that means that the fight is going to end up being an APFS DS. Just kinetic rounds is what I'm trying to say here, based combat. So we'll end up seeing the T-64s shooting, they have a penetration rate of 108. If we use the advanced rules, we'll get that plus or minus 2 or 3. That might give them a chance to, on a turret front shot, to get a kill. Definitely not going to get a kill on or get a penetrating round on the front side there, right? Definitely will on the side if they get hit there. So it's going to be a pretty close sort of battle, and the same will go this way. A little more advantage to the Leo. They've got a penetration rate of 120, and we can see here that if we get a penetrating round, we're going to smoke these guys, right? Their armor is 90 through 100, unless it's a rising or falling shot. Then you're going to get some different values here, and also very deadly as well. 3 through 10 will get you a kill, right? So this is going to be it's going to come down to ranging, all right? If you look, there's a little bit of advantage for point blank range. 6 versus 7, then same with short range. I'm sorry, I got you out of frame there. Short range is 12 versus 13, medium range 20 versus 23. Now that's a 3 hex difference. That's going to make a difference. But you can see that our penetration then goes down to 94, right? Our shots are not as powerful at long range, at medium range or long range. So let's go back to those armor values and see. We would need to be then with an 84. Is that right? 94. We'd still be okay, actually. That's good, right? Medium range will be able to penetrate, assuming all things are equal, with these KE rounds, these kinetic rounds, thin stabilized rounds. So that's good out to medium range for the Leos. Now, the reason why that's all important, and I kind of spent 4 minutes talking about that, is as we get into setup time, we need to work out where are we going to situate our tanks, where are the best positions for them to be, what will give us an advantage over the Russians, all that sort of good stuff, right? So these two hilltops give us a nice ranged shot. Same with a Milan. I've got a Milan here. This will give us a nice ranged shot this way. Gets a little tricky in here. I'm sorry about the shaking the camera here. I've got a new stand and it's very stiff, and I'm just trying to ease it down. I can move it left to right quite easily. It's on a rail, but straight up and down is tricky. So it's meant to be stay in the one location. So height of 3 here. This is an interesting place to be shooting from, but we don't have much range. There's a nice place here to shoot from, particularly if I can get hull down here. I can really block up this avenue. That also might be a nice location for the second Milan, which I have over here at the moment. Maybe I leave this Milan all the way over there, because they'll be able to see out to here probably. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they should be able to see out around here, out to here and past. So that'd be fine. So I can maybe move this guy to here with the tank. Go hull down there. That's an interesting location to be. And then then I've got these guys with some other equipment which I don't recall off the top of my head. I'm going to have to flip the page and have a look. Panzerfaust 44s. So they are not particularly good weapons platforms. I'm trying to find their platform. Panzerfaust 44. Yeah, penetration rate is 74. So that's not going to be very useful unless we can get a decent shot on the side somewhere against the T-64s. The reason why I'm focused on T-64s so much, there's 12 of them. So it's actually 13 with a command tank, but 12 T-64 BVs. And then there are also 2 companies of infantry as well. So it's quite, this could be, it's only a 15-turn scenario, so I don't know how much the Soviets are going to do in terms of coming on board, dismounting, and clearing the way so they can make an exit, or if they're just going to come on here and do a rush. But they do have some nice tools at their disposal. They have a Shilka, and they have this, this is basically mobile artillery. I think it's 152 millimeter gun, and it has a whopping 105 penetration round, which is pretty interesting. But you can see it's a CE-based platform, so I think that's going to that's not going to be very effective against the tanks, but it certainly will make a mess of infantry. And the Shilka will do its damage with very, very strong at point blank and short range, with the 23 millimeter cannon being fired at the infantry. Yeah, so we've got some interesting tools. We've got to work out how to bring them to bear. These BMP-1s are not going to be much of a threat with a penetration rate of just 92. Not particularly powerful. Everyone's got good ammo ratings. We're going to use the command span rules as well, so the Soviets are going to need to stay within, because of the size of the formation, there's not a lot of detail around the reduction in number of commands that you can have when you're on the offense with a large formation. It's one of the sort of things that's kind of, I don't know, this is a table that I haven't seen yet. And you can also have a wider command span than 10 hexes when you're on the defense. It doesn't really specify what that is. I'm doubling it because that would make the most sense, just given the fact that if I'm going to have a platoon of tanks spread out over here and the one command vehicle, situated somewhere convenient, 10 hexes is not going to do it in terms of defensive spread and all that sort of good stuff. And it's really only important when it comes to movement. Fire commands are a little easier to take care of independently. So that's just the way the command rules work. It's more when you start asking troops to do maneuver that you need to make sure you have enough commands. And so what's going to happen with the command points is that you'll reduce the number of available commands for movement and short halt fire commands. That's a little bit of a long, wordy explanation for that. Sorry about that. But it makes it a little more interesting because you've got to be more succinct and careful with the allocation of your commands to all these forces that we've got here. I've got a lot of tanks and a lot of BMPs and a lot of infantry, and I've got to be careful about my command span, my range that I'm going to have all these units spread out, and also the number of commands I'm going to be able to allocate to them in a given turn. Last point that I thought was interesting is these Leos can reorient in Overwatch and take a second shot. So they can rotate the turret and take a second shot just because it's a feature. They have this 360-degree system. It's called CIS, and I was just reading about it just now, and it's a pretty interesting feature. So you also get a no malice, no negative effect for your Overwatch shots. So you're not going to lose. You're not going to lose columns on the AP to hit range thing. All right, that was kind of a waffly, crappy overview, but I've pulled out this. I've spoken about the scenario in general in the other video, and I think this will sort of do as a preamble. I'm going to get these guys set up, and then I'll come back and maybe we'll talk about what the game plan is for each side. I'm probably going to be fairly strict with the Soviet forces, try and use, in air quotes, doctrine for them. So we're not going to be making it up on the fly. We'll be fairly strict with them. That way I can try and do the best for both sides. I'm not going to have hidden units on the map for obvious reasons because I'm playing solo. So we'll just have to deal with it going from there. All right, I thought I'd share all that. We'll talk to you soon. Roll some dice today. Ciao, and happy Friday.